Hi, my name's Ella and welcome back to part 2 of It's Your Story, Tell It. In our last meeting, we visited Korea to hear a folk tale and watch a puppet show. We learned that girls all over the world hear stories that teach us life lessons. In our last story, Gold Axe, Silver Axe, we learned that when faced with a problem, if we make a positive choice, like being honest, we may be rewarded. Today we're going to continue our journey around the world, but before we go, we're going to make a suitcase to hold all of our treasures that we find along the way. For this, you're going to need some materials. Any type of paper. You can use wrapping paper, a brown paper bag, construction paper, anything you have lying around. I'm using just wrapping paper. You're going to need a box. It can be a shoe box or any type of box, as big as or as little as you want. Mine's just a box like this. You're going to need some tape, any size, color, type of tape. I'm just using duct tape. And some decorations. For mine, I'm using stickers, but you can use pom-poms or pipe cleaners to make a handle or anything like that. So to get us started, we are going to fit the wrapping paper or the paper you're using to the box. For mine, I'm fitting it just like this. Make sure you tuck the edges in so that it is nice and crisp. And then just tape them right in so that they fit your box really nicely. It's always better to cut your pieces bigger than smaller because you can always cut more off if you need to. So now that I've got the bottom done like this, I'm going to go ahead and do the top part. Going to cut a little bit off. Make sure that you tape it at a point where you're going to be able to close your box. So that means I need to take a little bit more off, but that's okay. Be decorating mine with some more duct tape. And I'm just going to be laying it here across the edge, just like this. So my whole box is covered, and there we go. So now I'm going to close it so that it makes it easier to decorate. And then I'm just going to be doing some stickers. So these, I have some stickers from all around the world. I'm going to be sticking them all over my box, just like this. You can do as many stickers or as many decorations as you want. It's really all up to you. And you can stick them all different kinds of ways. For mine, I'm just sticking them like this. You can have them overlapping. You can have them tilted. All different directions. And then I'm also going to be decorating the sides of mine as well. Again, these don't need to be perfect at all. You can do it however you want it. And this is just going to be a little suitcase for me to put everything in as we go along our journey. So then once you've got it, the desired amount of decorated you want it, you can stop doing that. And yeah, so first for mine, I'm going to be putting in the sock puppet I made last time. You can do the same with yours, and this is just going to be a safe place for it to stay so that I can always look back and remember it, and remember the time we spent in Korea. So it fits right inside of mine, and you can do the same with yours. Okay, so once you've completed your suitcase, you can clean up your area, and now we're going to be listening to a story. So we're going to be going all the way, we're going to be flying all the way from Asia over here to Greece, which is right over here. We've got like Italy, and it's in the Mediterranean, so we have Italy, and then there's some islands over here, and one of those is Greece. So we're gonna fly all the way over there to hear about a story they have. Okay, so now we're gonna be reading the Greek fable, The Lion and the Mouse. This is the French version, and it's the Tell Me a Story version by Amy Friedman and Meredith Johnson. Once upon a time, a mighty and ferocious lion lay upon the ground in the forest, enjoying the cool breeze rustling his mane, the softness of the soil beneath him, and the muted sunlight pouring through the canopy of leaves overhead. After a while, he fell asleep and began to dream of the meal he would eat when he awoke. Then suddenly something brushed the lion's foot, and he was jolted awake. There before him stood a trembling mouse. "I'm sorry, sir, I didn't mean to wake you." "Fool!" the lion roared. "How dare you disturb a king's sleep?" The mouse silently prayed that the lion would not attack. You see, like all the creatures of the forest, the mouse understood this lion was a nomad. He looked after himself and was stronger than any other animal. Anything might turn him ferocious. "I do apologize," the mouse bowed his head, "and I hope your royal highness will find strength in your heart to forgive your faithful servant. I beg you to forgive me and count me your friend." The lion could not believe his ears. "Why should I forgive such a tiny creature?" the lion asked. "What right do you have to ask for this?" The mouse bowed lower. "I too am a creature on this earth," he said softly. "You are royal. That is true and strong and powerful." "Yes," the lion said, "and you are so small as to be insignificant." "But I promise you the greatest strength of all," the mouse said. "If you forgive me, I will forever be grateful." The lion laughed. "Grateful?" he asked. "And what good will your gratitude do me?" "I can only offer you my understanding of this world," said the mouse. "My understanding is small, but I believe that gratitude in one as great as you, lion, makes you more powerful. If you harm me, you will be no greater than you are today. But if you allow me my freedom, you will have earned a friend and an admirer." The lion listened closely as the mouse spoke, and the longer he listened, the more sense the mouse seemed to make. He began to admire the little fellow, with his gentle voice and his pleading eyes. Clearly, he had not purposefully caused this disturbance, and after all, he did make some sense. "Go on then," said the lion. I wish you to wage no battle. You are free to go." "Thank you," said the mouse. You will never regret this." And so they bid each other farewell with offers of peace and friendship. Several years later, the lion was roaming through the forest one night when suddenly he felt something encircle his leg. A moment later, he fell into a pit and a huge nest fell upon him. The lion struggled to free himself from the nest's embrace, but his resistance worked against him. Soon the cord of the net was so twisted that the lion in the hunter's trap was like a fly trapped in a spider web. For hours the lion struggled. He twisted and turned, pushed and pulled, and the nest held him fast. At last he fell to the ground in an exhausted heap. "I shall die here," he groaned in despair to the morning star that appeared on the horizon. "I shall die trapped in this pit all alone." In his anguish he let out one loud roar, the sound so loud and sad that it echoed through the whole forest. Every leaf on every tree shook, and the ground itself trembled. From far away the little mouse felt the ground stirring and heard that echoing roar. "That voice," he said to himself, "I know that voice." The mouse turned to his friends. "Come with me. We must follow that sound. That is my friend, the lion. He needs our help." "Your friend?" the mice asked. A mouse and a lion cannot be friends, but the mouse insisted, and he and his others scurried off, following the sound. When they reached the pit, the mouse looked down and saw the helpless lion shivering. "Friend," he called. "It is I, the mouse. I've come to repay your kindness." When the lion heard the voice, he looked up, and his whole being filled with a new sensation, and warmth spread across his chest, but he could not speak. The mouse and his friends and family crawled into the pit and began to chew through the nest that held the lion. Soon the lion felt the cords falling away. He was free! The lion leapt out of the pit, and the mice followed. The lion looked with gratitude at his old friend. "You saved me," he said. "Of course. You are my friend," the mouse answered. The lion nodded. "Yes, and I look forward to the day I can be such a friend to you." And with those words they bid each other farewell. The lion returned to his home, and the mouse to his comrades, and his comrades returned to theirs. And all the creatures of the forest understood the wisdom and strength of the friendship. So now that we've read the story, who do you think you're more like? The lion or the mouse? Does just because you're small mean that you're insignificant and can't make a big change? The answer is no. Everyone can make a change, either for the better or for the worse, and it's up to you to decide which one of those changes you want to make. So before I leave you today, we are going to make a lion and mouse pencil topper for your suitcase. Over the next week, I want you to look at your sock puppet and the toppers and think about the different choices made by Chin Sung from Gold Axe, Silver Axe, and the lion from today's story. How are the choices different, and how did their choices make a difference in their story? Next time we will hear one more story that we will change and share with others as we take action to change the world. Let's circle back to our toppers for our final activity. Today I've invited my mom to help us with this activity.
Hello everybody, and thank you for joining with me today to continue your journey and to learn how to make a lion and a mouse pencil topper. So this is what the lion looks like, and yours may look similar and it may end up looking a little bit different, and that's a-okay. They can all be as unique as we are. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I have all of the items that I need here in a little trinket dish that we made during the Brownie Potter badge. So in here I have, for the mouse, you'll need one larger palm, two smaller palms, and mine are white. You can use gray, you can use black, you can use purple or green, whatever color you want. And then I have a little mini black palm for his nose. I also have two small googly eyes. And for my lion, which we'll get to in a minute, I also have a yellow palm. Again, you can choose any color you want. I have another little black mini palm, two small yellow palms, another set of googly eyes, and one white small palm. So the lion takes an extra palm. I also have 3 pipe cleaners. Again, I've gone with a white one for my mouse, and then I'm going to use yellow and orange for my lion. You can use, again, whatever color you want. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with the mouse. So to start, we want to bend our pipe cleaner around so that we're making a little circle in the middle of the pipe cleaner. We only want this circle to be big enough to hold our large palm. So it doesn't need to be really big. Once we've got the size that we want, we're going to take the one piece and we're going to bend it and push it through the hole, just like if we were tying a knot. The thing with pipe cleaners are they're super easy to use because they just kind of bend whichever direction we want, so you can't really mess them up. Okay, so then we're going to take our one little tail piece that's hanging off here, and we're going to just make a little tiny lump. This is going to make the guy's ear. So you can see your pinky kind of fits right in there. That's about the size you want, maybe a little tiny bit smaller. Then you're going to take the tail again, and you're going to push it through the hole. And the reason we're doing that is to go ahead and secure this in place so that our ear doesn't move. So now you can see we've got one ear made. So then we're going to take this and we're going to make another little lump. Again, our pinky fits in there nicely. And then we're going to loop that last little tail through. And you can see I've got this little tiny piece left over. So we could cut that off. You could just cut that off if you wanted to. But I think it's just as easy to just wrap it around the remaining pipe cleaner. Okay, and so now we can take our pencil topper and we're going to move this little, we're going to circle this piece around this last little pipe cleaner so that our pipe cleaner ends up here in the middle of what is the outline of our face. You don't have to do that step, but I like it so that when I take my pencil, and now we're going to make the swirly part that wraps around the pencil, kind of like making a Hermie the worm. When you wrap this all the way around, you can see that it makes a little swirl. So I like to keep my piece in the middle so that my mouse will sit up straight in the middle. Okay, now we get to the face part. So you're going to take your large palm, again mine is white, you put it right in the middle, and then we're going to get our 2 white palms that are going to make his cheeks. So we put a little dab of glue right here in the middle of the palm. See that? Got 2 little dabs of glue. And I'm going to put my 2 little palms right on top. Then I'm going to take my little black palm for her nose, and I'm going to put it right here in the middle of the cheeks, kind of on the top in the middle of the cheeks. My little palm for her nose is black. Again, you can use any color you want. Yours might be pink, it might be orange, it could be purple, whatever color you want. Then our last little step is that we're going to take and put 2 dots right at the top of the palm, right above the cheeks, for our googly eyes. Now, if you don't have googly eyes, that's a-okay. You could make these eyes out of other pom-poms. You could make them out of paper. You can make them out of foam. You could draw them on with a marker. You can really do whatever works for you. And if you wanted to, you could even get creative and use some yarn or some other string and put some little whiskers coming off of your mouse. But this is what your mouse pencil topper will sort of look like when you're finished. And as you can see, once it's all dry, you can just go ahead and slip that fun little guy on top of your pencil so that you have a really fun pencil to write with and do your schoolwork with. Okay, so now we're going to make our lion. Make the lion in pretty much the same fashion as the other one, but it is a little more complicated because of the mane. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make our circle again. That's going to hold our pom-pom, our largest pom. So I've got my circle, I double check my size, the yellow pom fits perfectly in there. So now I'm going to loop my one end through, just like I was tying my shoe, and I'm going to give it a little twist, and now I've got my circle. Okay, now this is the tricky part. For this, to make the lion's mane, we're going to make what looks like a little flower. To do that, we're going to kind of make little ears all around. So take your palm and or your pipe cleaner and push it through just like you were making kind of a big ear, and then you're going to twist. And then you're going to take the next piece and you're going to do the same thing, and you're going to twist. As you can see, it's starting to look like we have two little ears, except for we're going to keep going. So now we're going to take our piece and we're going to bring it up on here, and we're going to twist. And it's okay that they're not all the same size. We're making a lion's mane, and it's a-okay to have them different sizes. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to take our piece, pull it through, and twist. As you can see with this one, we are not leaving the little tail hang down off of this orange piece. We're going to take this again, and we're going to twist. And you can see it looks like a little flower. But we're going to take our tail, we're going to bring that through, and we're just going to wrap it around so that now it does look like we have a little flower. Okay, so that's going to make our lion's mane. But now we need to make our pencil topper portion and make our lion's ears. So to make our lion's ears, I like mine to be on the outside and up here by my biggest flower looking pieces. So you're going to take your pipe cleaner, and all you're going to do is come up here, give it a little twist so that it gets connected. So I'm twisting that end through, and now it's connected on there. So see, it almost looks like it could be a stem for my flower. And then what I'm going to do is, guess what? That's right. I'm going to use my pinky and I'm going to make a nice little ear. So as you can see, it's about the size of my pinky, and I've made him an ear, and I'm going to take the whole tail and I'm going to push it through so that I can twist that around here and secure my ear in place. So now I've got my first ear. See that? First ear sticking up. Okay, and then I'm just going to push the tail the whole way through the circle so that I can come back up and, oops, stuck a little bit there. So push it the whole way through the circle so that now I can come up here on the other side of my piece of mane. So see, now I'm looping kind of around one of these flower pieces, what would be like a flower petal. And I just kind of like tied the piece around. See that? Okay, so then I'm going to, again, you can use your pinky to measure, and I'm going to make a little ear. So there's my ear sticking up. It's hard to see. And we're going to push that through, bring our tail through again, because we need to secure it on there, right? So we're going to bring that up and around. Okay, and as you can see, we now have two little ears. It doesn't have to be exactly the way I did it. It doesn't matter. The great thing about pipe cleaners, again, are they're very easy to use. You can't really mess up because they bend however you want them to. And we're going to take some of this yellow that we have left, and we're just going to twist it around some of our orange mane so that we now have a yellow and orange mane. Part of the reason that we're doing that is because we want to get our tail piece down here to the bottom so that now it's kind of looks like a a crazy looking flower, but it's a yellow and orange type of a flower. And you can see we've got his 2 ears, and here's his mane. And then we've got our tail down here at the bottom that I've wrapped around nice and tight. And now I'm going to wrap that around my pencil again, just like we were making our Army of the Worm. And that will be, pull it out, it's the little base that attaches to my pencil. Okay, so now that I've got that part done, that's the hardest part. We're going to go ahead and take our little, for our largest size palm, and we're going to put it right here in the middle. So it kind of does look like a flower that we're going to put a face on. And then, much like with our mouse, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put 2 dots kind of halfway through to make our lion's cheeks. Again, I'm using yellow, but you could be creative with yours. And if you don't have yellow, or you just want to use fun colors, you can make your lion whatever color you want to. This lion has an extra little piece to make his mouth. So we put an extra little dot of glue right down underneath the 2 cheeks. So if you can see that, there's a little dot of glue there. And we give him this white little mouth. So that now he's got 2 cheeks and a little white mouth. And then again, just like with the mouse, right in between his cheek, we give him a dot of glue for his nose. And then 2 more dots of glue to put on his googly eyes. My lion kind of has some big googly eyes, bigger than my mouse, and that's a-okay. And again, if you don't have googly eyes, you can still make this project. You can just use some foam, you can use some pom-poms, you can use whatever you happen to have on hand in your little craft supply kit. So here we go, there's our lion, and then here's our mouse. And when they are totally dry, I will put them on a pencil and end up with my fun little pencil topper. So I hope you had fun making those, and I hope that you share some of yours with us, and that you are able to use those and they help you through the rest of your journey.
Thank you all for joining my mom and me today. I'll see you next week to finish our journey around the world of girls. Bye!